I haven't had tens of thousands of, I had 10,000, I have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I haven't loaded a video, I think, since 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago I loaded a video. In 2 years with 10,000 subscribers, I don't think there's been 10 people, 15, 20 people maybe on the high end that have messaged me and said, Michael, I really miss your videos. But by God, even like when I didn't do anything from late September to January 1st of last year. So late September of last year to January 1st of this year. The only people who said anything were a few people when I saw them in real life. Now, my brain could argue a few things and go, well, does anybody care? Do they like it? Does that mean, don't do it because nobody's really paying attention? Nobody cares anyways. Like, there's all these things. It's just what our brain does. Like, I'm not a robot. I just don't sit here and like always positive and everything. Oh my God, everybody loves me. I'm amazing. Like, it's just not what my brain does all the time. I mean, I typically see the half glass full, but not empty. But at the same time, my brain just starts to think those things. Well, does anybody give a crap? Like, why do it if nobody cares? If I'm not going to, you see these people that they post publicly too. Oh my God, the overwhelming amount of comments that I've gotten. I guess I need to bring this back. And I haven't got to ask too many people because my question is that a bunch of bullshit? Did they just post that to make everybody feel as though they had a lot of people that essentially, cared about what they were doing, or did they just do it? I mean, I remember back in the day, I'd post things on Facebook just like the Geb Show thing. I mean, hell, I could have had nothing planned. And in fact, people thought I had more planned than I had planned because I just put a graphic up. My wife goes, do you just always put the cover or graphic of something up before you do anything? Because, ultimately I put this up, Geb Show coming soon. And it's like I had people think that I was starting a TV show with like a big set. I'm in my house right now, in my office with a setup. But it's not this super elaborate thing. But people will make up all these things. So through time, I've done that kind of stuff. I've posted vague things and then people read into it. And so I've just found like some of these people are like, all these people, sent me all these messages. I question. I'm not saying nobody does. I'm not saying none of the people do. And I'm not saying that one way or another people care or don't care. But I just think that what's happening in this world is that 8 years ago, when there was 30 vloggers on YouTube, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and somebody they were consistent, you're following them, and they stopped posting, you're like, oh my God. Because you didn't have anybody else. And now, if you're not consistent, you're not relevant at all. And people got 50 other people to listen to. So when you stop posting and you fall off the face of the earth, I'm sure there's people that notice. But I would question too, if you really love somebody's stuff, don't assume that everybody thinks, because I'm a lurker, and we were just talking with my buddy Alan today. We were talking how, Facebook kind of trains us to potentially not like and not comment because then you start getting all these notifications and you're like, I don't want that, so I'll just watch. If you really love somebody, and I know there's been a lot of suicide, and guys, I swear to God on everything, I'm fine. I'm not just saying it. I don't need all this supported that way. But, support's great. You can send me things. But, that's what happens to people because people assume that everything's always okay. Now, I believe that if you really love content creators do love that. I mean, I can talk to anybody, and even me, we all like our ego stroked. Like, we want to know that what we're doing matters. But I do believe because there's such an abundance now that when you stop posting, there's so much hitting you still that you might even forget that essentially there's somebody else that you did really like. Because there's just a couple people you follow, and that's all there is to listen to or watch. Like, before there wasn't YouTube or Facebook or podcasts or any of that. You had to turn the dial on your radio in your car or at your house, or turn the power button on your TV. And there was Ellen, and there was Oprah. That was it. And if Oprah was coming on at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday and Oprah wasn't there, you're like, what the heck? Where's Oprah? But now with DVRs and everything else, we're watching things whenever we want. So, of course, there's been 12 to 20, 30 people on here. There's people on YouTube and everything else watching this right now. And some are on here constantly. Some are coming on and off. But the reality is, There's a lot of things to look at. There's a lot of people to pay attention to. And there's a lot of things going on that compete for the time. Nothing's to discourage you guys from doing things, but it's recognizing that's why falling into your strengths is super important. Doing something that you love and being able to consistently do it. Now, you should learn tricks and tips and hacks and these different things to help you stand out. People got to like what you're doing. But if you're doing it because you love it, then you'll be able to keep doing it when sometimes the views might not be there, the likes might not be there, the comments might not be there, the shares might not be there. But take it as a learning experience. What I'll be doing with the Geb Show is a byproduct of all these things I've learned and I've tried. So you can't judge my today if you don't look back at my yesterday, right? If you don't look back at what I did, like let's pull open here for 1 second. I want to share that video with you guys.
In 10 years, I hope to have a very successful business with my video production stuff. As you can tell, I'm not the actor. Not at all. I like to be behind the camera in front of this, you know, putting stuff together. An amazing 2011. I started with nothing, and I've just surrounded myself with really good people. And, you know, anything's possible. I'm kind of goofy and kind of awkward in front of the camera because, again, I like to be behind it.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Gevin here, and I'm super excited to be with you on Wednesday. We're going to do this video in 60 seconds or less. Thank you very much. Just kidding. All right, let's go at it. So I am fired up. Find what you're passionate about, but keep trying. Even in my trying to find what lights me up, I keep failing. I keep doing things. I keep trying so I can find that thing. So you guys see that? Now, some of you have seen that before. I love to share that video because, you know, I just think it's important for ourselves to, you know, look back and see where we came from. I just think it's really important for you guys to know where you come from and where other people come from. Because so many times, again, we just see people's todays. And as a byproduct, that that makes things difficult to appreciate at times because we think we suck, we're not good enough. Well, I wish I would have started 8 years ago. Yeah, by God, you might wish you had. But at the same time, you need to start today. Now, I say that. When I decided I wanted to do the new live event that we did, I took a picture of the place we had it in July of last year. We had it January 31st. So July of 2017, we had it January 31st of 2018. So that's July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 7 months later, before I pulled the trigger and did it. 7 months later. Just we're talking today, we decided about the Geb Show stuff. And I was talking to my wife and Alan here, and I said, well, how long do you think I've been talking about that? Because it's 7 months. And so by the time the end, now I've been known to take action, but there's a lot I haven't. I start a lot of things and I stop a lot of things at times. In my life, I've done that. And I've talked about a lot of things, but I start a lot more than probably the average person does. But at the same time, there's things I don't. But that 7 months, and this we decided was around maybe a month. And so I did it a little bit quicker. But at the same time, I know I say these things to you guys. Take action today. Do it today. But sometimes you're going to have to hear these things again and again and again and again and again. But hopefully for some of you, today is that day. It is that day because you've heard it 50 times already. But you've got to start that thing. And right now, if you don't know what the thing is, but you've got a few things, start them. It's better to start and play with the few things and have them flop than it is to just keep thinking about them for months and months and months and years, and more time passes.